Can you all see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. नजर आ रही है अभी चली क्या क्या blank. Yes, ma'am. Clear है.
Clear? Okay. What is presentation skills to all of you? Yeah, how would you define presentation skills, or only presentation?
मैम
Okay.
मैम प्रेजेंटेशन स्किल्स को ऐसे डिफाइन किया जा सकता है कि हम किस तरह से एक टॉपिक को प्रेजेंट करते हैं, इस तरह से करें कि हमारा जेस्चर भी बहुत ओवर से ना और ऑडियंस को हमारी बात भी अच्छे से समझ आ जाए, प्रिसाइजली एंड शॉर्टली.
Very good. So basically, according to you, presentation skills are uh, those skills which are required in conveying whatever information you are conveying to your audience. So this is your definition. Is there any other definition of any other student? Can anyone else define it? Okay, why do we need to present? Why do we need to present?
To clear our topic, जो इन लोगों को present करनी है.
But why do we need to present it?
मैम ताकि वो message जो है वो easily convey हो जाए.
That message is easily conveyed to whom?
Ma'am, presently वो चीज clarify की जाए, आगे उसको एक proper way में convey किया जाए, ताकि हर किसी को एक present मतलब सही तरीके से.
That's really good that today you all are participating, but I would appreciate if you talk in English. And secondly, what is the need? Why do we need to present it? Why would there be audience listening to you when people don't like to listen at all?
मैम
Yes, yes.
क्योंकि मैम जब आप प्रेजेंट करते हो तो आप रिसर्च ओके when you present a topic you must have done some research on it, so you have some much more knowledge than the audience.
Very good.
So you can explain a topic in much detailed.
But why do you think audience would be listening to you?
Because you know something that they don't know.
Something that
because
they don't know. But how would you make them listen to you? They don't know that. They don't know that.
This is your presentation skill that you.
And what are those skills according to you? So the person
Ma'am, to have.
Ma'am, it's all about your politeness and gesture. If your gesture and politeness is attractive for audience, they will listen to you.
Okay, so according to you, your tone, basically not exactly politeness, tone, your body language,
and your research.
And the research content. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add, boys? Boys, would you like to add something? Girls have already shared their opinion. Hamza, Muhammad Ali, Wahab is not here yet. Bilal, would you like to share your opinion? What is presentation skills according to you, and what are the things which are required in presentation? So boys could never be this quiet as they are right now. Okay, then let's begin today's lecture. And today's lecture is this: the significance of effective presentation skills for the academic and professional career. So,
ma'am?
Yes, Sarah.
मैम निहाऊ मैम हमारा भी और कितने टॉपिक्स कवर होने वाले रहेंगे?
This would be probably your last topic. We are done with progress writing and memo writing. So that was our second last topic, and this is your major last topic. So we'll be discussing this. I have 3 lessons for it, but I'm trying if we can finish it today or in tomorrow's lecture, because after that, in the next week, I'll be giving you topics for presentations and we'll be presenting online. So that is why I'm asking you.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, what about our final assignment?
Your final assignment, I have skipped that. So if we are together in the next semester, so I'll be giving you a long and extensive assignment, and there will be no escape from it. This is your second semester, and we were trying to cope with the changes in the medium of instruction as well. So it was online. So I decided that that should be done in the next semester if I would be taking your course again. If any other teacher would be taking it, definitely he or she would also be assigning you the similar kind of research. Topics would definitely be different. I like to give different kind of topics. Others give different kind of topics. Okay, so let's talk about presentation. So as I asked you, why is there the need of presenting something? So one thing, it could be academic presentation. Secondly, it could be professional presentation. So for academic presentation, you are asked by your instructor, you need to deliver it to your class fellows probably, or the audience that is similar to your studies. So that is why you are delivering a presentation on certain topic which needs clarification or maybe for your sessions. For professional need, it could be a launch of something, or if you remember that you would have seen people who come to your institution or to your homes just to tell you about the product, how much beneficial it is for you, and why you should go and buy it. And sometimes they do have that sample with them. So that is also a kind of presentation. So you need to know that what are those selling skills that will help you in delivering your information to your audience, in convincing your audience, and in persuading them to what you want them to do. So yes, it could be academic and it could be professional. So what kind of hurdles the learners have been facing while giving presentations in past? Can anyone answer that? What kind of
Ma'am,
hurdles or problems?
not being able to grab the audience attention.
Okay, not being able to grab the audience attention. And why that happens?
Ma'am, because of the body language, or
It could be
if the
because of...
presentation is not interesting enough.
Very good. So probably the topic is not that interesting. Probably your body language is also not that motivating for them. Probably your energy is not as much as it should be. And probably your tone is not audible. Like if I won't be audible to you, you won't be listening to me. Because this is the online system and I won't be able to ask you to look at me, or would not be able to ask for your attention. Here, all I can do is just try to involve you through interaction, through or giving you a conducive environment to talk, to discuss about things. So if you won't be comfortable, you won't be discussing things. So yes, the environment matters, your body language matters, your tone, your voice, your energy, your facial expressions also matter. If a person with a strict face is delivering the presentation, people would not feel that much power or pull towards it. So if the person is there with a happy or smiley face or with a lighter expression, they definitely be listening to that person. So yes, there are many hurdles. Some people get blank when they go there on the stage, when they have to speak. They get nervous. They start shivering. They start trembling. They start fidgeting, and whatever. What else do they do? What else do have you experienced? Did you ever get nervous while you're presenting?
Yes, ma'am, sometimes.
So what happened? What were your feelings at that time?
Ma'am, fidgeting or low pitch.
Fidgeting and low pitch. Did any one of you get choked, unable to say something, and you needed water at that time? Class, can you hear me? See, I can. Yes. Did you ever get choked or you needed water while you were presenting? Is it the most difficulty is talking in English, or is it your attention that is not here? अभी मैं उर्दू में आप लोगों को बात करने को कहूँगी, देखता people would start talking. Ji Ahmed, what do you think? What have you experienced while you have given presentation? Nobody is talking today. Yes,
Ma'am,
Hamza.
experience while presenting a presentation?
Yes, while presenting a presentation, what kind of feelings did you have? Did you ever get nervous?
Yes, for the first time when I present material in front of the audience, nervousness was at the top.
What kind of
And
nervousness was that?
that all the people are watching you.
Okay.
And what if I said something wrong and
Okay.
somebody accuse or claim that you are saying wrong and your
Okay.
research is wrong information, something like that.
Very good. So yes, you do have that kind of nervousness too when you feel that everybody's looking at you and you get choked,
Yes.
you are not able to move, you may become a statue over there, or sometimes you even forget what you have learned because some people do memorize their presentation. So
Yes.
yes, these are the things which we see while which we see learners who are presenting may go through. So let's discuss. How do you organize your, or before that, what would you prepare for your presentation before giving it? So pre-presentation preparations क्या होंगी आपकी?
Extensive research on the topic.
Very good. So you'll be researching about the topic you have been given or you are going to present. So what else? So once you have researched the topic, your next step would be
practicing the topic.
Okay, or
the presentation
or converting that presentation into PowerPoint slides or in a video form or something like that. So you need a medium to transfer your content onto. So first step,
Yes,
research. Second step, the medium, which is probably PowerPoint. And then third step, after you have prepared your or made your slides as well, now what would be a third step?
Presenting.
Preparing for the presentation, and that could be done by practicing, and we can say rehearsal. So you would rehearse it.
Yes.
Okay, after the fourth step is over, your pre-preparation of presentation is over. Now you'll be working on presentation. So does the appearance matter while you're presenting or not?
Ma'am, sorry?
Does appearance matter?
Yes, ma'am. How you carry yourself, dressing, and
yourself. Okay, what kind of dressing is appropriate for girls?
Light
clean.
colors.
Light colors. And what kind of shoes?
Plain.
No.
Sneakers
Short
or
heeled.
No sneakers at all.
Heeled.
Yes, it should be high heel formal shoes. Yes, it should be high heel formal shoes. Formal shoes. Not the pencil.
Ma'am, if we are presenting in university, is it appropriate
Yes.
wearing high heels while presentation?
There are
heels
some do's and don'ts of presentations, and formal shoes may have some heel in it. And yes, that shoe should not be fancy wear. That should be formal one. Okay, so what about jewelry?
Ma'am, keep it minimum. Like
yes.
Wristwatch.
Just ring or short earring.
Okay. Should it be the long flashy earrings, long sparkling earrings?
No.
Okay.
Because you want to look professional or maybe
Very
not too
good.
much.
Okay, so for girls, it is like you need to dress up formally. Your dress color should not be very bright and not very dull. It should be vibrant enough to look presentable. Uh, and you should be wearing formal shoes which are not flat, which are not pumps, which are not fleets, so which are not sneakers, which are high heel shoes, which are formal shoes, plain black shoes, plain brown shoes, or things like that. And you should not be wearing as much jewelry as it should be attracting audience attention. So you should be wearing minimum jewelry with less flashy colors, and yes, you should be wearing wristwatch if possible. So now come to boys. What kind of dressing should boys be doing while they are presenting?
Ma'am, casual dress and dress pant and shirt, and with Oxford shoes black.
Hamza, just tell me one thing. What comes under your casual dressing?
Sorry, ma'am.
What comes under your casual dressing? Would it be jeans? Would it be something like that?
Ma'am, in casual dressing, it should be a shalwar kameez with waistcoat or dress pant and dress shirt with black Oxford shoes.
Okay, let me tell you one thing. For boys, it is formal dressing again. It should not be casual dressing. And talking about presentation, here the preference is given to the formal dress, which is your jacket and pants, or it could be your three-piece, which is waistcoat, jacket, and pant, जिसको आप coat भी कहते हैं. So with tie. So this is your preferably presentable formal kind of dressing for men. If it's summer, so you won't be wearing coat. If it's a meeting, definitely you would be. But if you're presenting at a place where there is kind of humid climate or situation, so you would not be wearing jacket over there or the coat over there. Only you would be wearing tie and a formal dress and a formal pant. So you would not be wearing shalwar kameez. But if a person who is more more kind of a person who does not wear trousers and shirts and pants, so then that person can opt for the shalwar kameez dress, and that should be formal again with the waistcoat and of course the shoes. So everything should be formal, including the shoe, and a tie is a must when you're presenting. Is it little clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
No, there's nothing casual in it, Bilal. There's nothing casual in it. Jeans is not allowed, and tie is a must. Round necks, t-shirts are not allowed. No casual dressing. So that depends upon the kind of presentation you're giving. If it is highly formal, then you would be wearing coat. If it is less formal, you might skip coat. And if it is kind of mixed gathering where formal and informal kind of presentation could be possible, then you can wear jeans along with the tie and the dress shirt. So this could be semi-formal dressing in semi-formal kind of environment. So for boys, it is again very important to dress up properly, and there are many other things which I would be discussing off recording as well. Okay, so let's begin. This is the while pre-stage when you are preparing your material. So you would be given a topic, and you need to organize your research which you have done on that topic, and that again would be in three parts, and those parts would definitely be the introduction part, the main body part, and the conclusion part. And in introduction, definitely you'll be telling about the topic background and what things you're going to present. So overview of your presentation in the bullet forms, and you would be talking about the background of the topic, what you're going to talk about, and how it originated, and what they would be learning today in that session. So yes, you will begin with your personal introduction first, and what you would be telling about yourself would be who you are, and definitely you'll be pronouncing your name accurately. your qualification of the subject, the type of presentation you are presenting. Is it informational? Is it instructional? Is it problem solving? Or is it persuasion presentation? So you will be telling your purpose, and then the background information of the topic, and then all the contents, and then preview, and then the procedure that will follow your presentation. So here you can give your thesis statement also. So thesis statement is basically that main problem statement why you are delivering that presentation today. So the purpose of introduction is to quickly build reputation with your audience. Why you introduce yourself with your audience? Just to give them that comfort level that they would feel comfortable that you know them and they know you. So you want the audience to be able to easily follow your thought process and you lead them into the body of the presentation. So now you have developed a connection with your audience and it would be easier for you to convince them to your points which you are going to present later. So then there should be a main body, and main part of the presentation is the main body. The body must expound, explain, support, and defend the thesis or your content, and all main points must be covered. Use examples and illustrations for the statements that are difficult for the audience to understand, and graphic illustrations and other visual aids not only help to clarify your message but also add color and credibility. So your presentation should be prepared in a way that there should be slides which may contain some colorful audio and visual images. You can add audio if you want to. There could be video also, or you could begin with begin your presentation with a very thought-provoking kind of video by showing a video to your audience and then asking them a question, then bringing them onto your point. And you can also begin your topic by just informing them about the topic and then asking them a question and then showing them a video. So that depends upon you how you want to carry your topic and how you want to involve your audience into different activities. So the body should be containing all the content. Each slide must contain not more than 5 or 6 points. So 5 major points discuss होंगे, short bullet points में होंगे, and phrases में होंगे. It would not be complete paragraph written over there in the slide. So people would not read it. People would lose interest if they would be given a lot of text on one slide. So they would feel interested if they would be shown visuals, colorful audios and videos. All the main points must be covered, and you can add as you desire that your audience, as much as you desire that your audience should be involved. In the conclusion, slides should be containing these things. It should contain summary. It should contain emotional response. It should contain recommendations and exit line. So summary is once you have presented all your points, you have presented your main thesis and discussed all the major discussions and points. Now you're going to wrap up your presentation by summing up all the things which you have discussed in just 1 or 2 slides maximum. And these would be restating your thesis which you have presented in the beginning, or that would freshen up their mind, or you could again show them a video which would sum up all your discussions that you have done earlier. So this will definitely create an emotional appeal or an emotional response from your audience. If the video is shown, they would definitely be feeling that more than the words you have told them or the words you have conveyed them. So they might be showing an emotional reaction and they might have that strong appeal in their mind. Probably they'd be convinced or persuaded by what you have shown them. And then recommendations. If you can have a question and answer session, if you can ask them any sort of suggestions, that suggestions could be on your presentation part and that suggestions could be on your presentation making, that is slides, and that suggestions or recommendations could be on the content development and the content delivery. So So after that, you had a good communication question and answer session, interactive session. Now you can have an exit line, and that exit line would be signing out of your presentation and should be the formal one. So this is how you would be planning for your presentation. But you need to keep these things in your mind that while you are preparing or making the slides, you should know the purpose, or purpose could be to inform your audience, to persuade your audience, to explain the concept to your audience, or to entertain your audience. So if you have these purposes in your mind, your content would be adapted to it. If you're going to persuade, your all of your content should be colorful, bright, convincing, energetic enough. And if you are going to explain certain kind of things, so your videos, your explanation should be based on the processing of that mechanism or the phenomena you're talking about. And if your purpose is to entertain them, so you'll be definitely monitoring and catering to their needs. If you think that a joke is required, a lighter note or a video is required, so or an audio is required, or a sound, it could be a song, it could be a jingle. So that depends upon your audience needs and your way of or your methodology of delivering that information. Yesterday we talked about what is presentation and why do we need to present, and what kind of presentations could be there, be it academic presentations or professional presentations. We also discussed how to prepare for presentation before presenting, and what things should be done before you prepare for the presentation. So now today you would be talking about the kind of methodology you are adopting for the presentation and what are the do's and don'ts. So what do you believe? What cookie could it be? Should it be the lively one? Should it be the lecture method only? Should it be the topic that is given on the spot, or should it be the topic that is given before time? So what do you believe? How should it be? Should the presentation be like the topic given on the spot, or should it be given before time?
Ma'am, before time,
Why before time?
so you can do a little research on it.
So you can do a little research on it, and so you can prepare for it. Okay. So why not on the spot? Can't you speak when you're given any topic?
Ma'am, it depends if you are already aware of the topic.
Okay. So yes, it also depends upon the situation you are presenting in. It could be there in the classroom, but you won't be able to present it in front of the university students. They could be from any discipline. So yes, spontaneous ones are usually not preferred by the students because they don't believe that they would be able to say something, but they prefer topics that are given before time to prepare according to their requirements. So let's discuss some of the on the day presentations and do's and don'ts. But before that, we are going to discuss what kind of methodology you need to adopt for your presentation. So, what strategies are well known by the motivational speakers? What kind of strategies do motivational speakers use in their presentations?
Ma'am, they engage with the audience more often.
And how do they engage their audience?
They ask questions.
They ask questions and
Relatable.
they make
Make
it
the
more
topic.
relatable through their videos, through the audio, through the stories they tell, through the jokes they tell, through the quotations they tell. So they try to involve the audience in the every possible way. So what are their resources? They have their resource of voice, they have their resource of their vocabulary and words which they choose. Through these words, they can influence their audience heart and mind, and they can use the medium of audio and video to convince them or to persuade them or to energize them accordingly. So, what have they learned about effective presentation, and which barriers they have identified which come in the way of your successful presentation? So, yesterday we discussed about some of the barriers, which was nervousness. So, what did we discuss? Do any one of you remember?
Remember when you're unable to speak or you forget the words or your hands get cold?
Yes,
Just feeling of panic.
we discussed about the stage phobia. We discussed about being nervous in a way that you go blank on the stage. You may not be able to say a word. You get choked. You need water. You start fidgeting. You start sweating, and you start trembling at times. You feel like your legs cannot move, and you become stationary. So yes, these were the variants we discussed, and we did not discuss how to overcome these barriers. Can you suggest anything? Any of you? How to overcome this nervousness or phobia or any barrier? What do you do?
Practicing beforehand.
Okay, very good. So you said practicing beforehand. But what if the person has practiced it well but has got nervous there on the stage now? How would you bring yourself back to the normal being there on the stage?
Ma'am, tell a joke to the audience.
You cannot speak, how would you be telling a joke?
मैम मेन पॉइंट तो ये ना कि आपने ऑडियंस को कॉन्फिडेंस गेन करना है ताकि आपका अपना कॉन्फिडेंस उनके लेवल पे आ जाए. तो अगर आप उनके साथ इंटरेक्ट करेंगे, उनका मतलब जोक शेयर करेंगे, तो आप इजीली कंटिन्यू कर सकते हैं आगे.
Okay. So yes, there could be some uh, cognitive strategies or mental strategies that can help you. If you believe that the people who are sitting in front of you are not looking at you, if you have that phobia that everybody is looking at you, what you can do is you cannot look them into their eyes, you can look at their heads or a little above their head. So this would seem as if you are having an eye contact with them, maintaining an eye contact with them, but on the same time you are not. So this would give you strength and energy and would not distract you. So you need to strategize it so that you won't get stuck over there and you won't get blank over there or you would not pass out over there. So the point is you need to be there on stage before time so that you can have a good view of your audience, what kind of view you're going to have while you're presenting. This would give you a little energy and would give you little confidence. And if anyone who gets choked can ask for the water and then begin again. If anyone who is shivering or trembling would again ask for the water, that would give him or her a little time to recover himself or herself. So, yes, you can strategize according to your personality, according to the situation, but you need not to give up. So, the point is, when people give up or surrender, there comes the problem. But if they keep on coping with the situation and never give up, they definitely recover. So let's discuss the delivery method. And here there are at least 4 methods for an oral presentation. And the best of these is the extemporaneous method. The worst is the impromptu method. Impromptu is the one that I told you that you would be given the topic on the spot, and the tool works. You can And there is another one that is memorization. So there are three types. One is oral presentation, impromptu, extemporaneous, and memorization. The extemporaneous method involves significant effort but results in degree of quality that tells your audience that you care about them. So extemporaneous is a kind of topic that is again given to you there on the spot, but they give you 4 to 5 minutes or even 10 minutes to prepare for it, so that you can have something in your mind. You would you organize the information in your mind according to the introduction, main body, and conclusion. Then you'll go on the stage and you'll discuss and explain. But in what's the difference in impromptu and extemporaneous? In impromptu, you would not get time even to think. What you have to say is there on the stage or there on the rostrum. You have been called over there and they've asked you to talk about something, so that is impromptu. You were not even given time to organize things in your mind. That is impromptu. Whereas you know that memorization is a kind of rote learning, which usually students do before their academic presentation, and they learn all of it. I would not suggest that too, because if they forget something over there, so that makes them nervous over there. What I suggest is prepare it with a combination of memorization and oral presentation. So speak from your mind, speak from your heart, whatever that comes to your mind, say that. You won't be able to get stuck, you won't be able to get nervous, you won't be able to get choked. So this would help you. So memorization of the basic information is important, but memorization of each and every word is not that important. So doing your homework to fill your knowledge gap, there should be 3 to 5 cue cards. Cue cards could be the visual images or questions or anything that would help your audience to think and to consider some points, so or to provoke them to use their mental abilities. So that is the purpose of using 3 to 5 cue cards. So cue cards would be giving you signal to think and to relate it to your topic. So the impromptu method is characterized by poor organization, incompleteness. It tells the audience that you are indifferent about them. The memorization method is risky. You can lose your place or leave something out in panic. You might revert to the impromptu method, resulting in the disaster. So finally, the reading method might be acceptable. Yes, there is another method which most of you would do if you are going to have a face-to-face presentation. What you do is you start reading all the slides. You don't face the audience, you start reading all the slides, and you are just reading. You're not even discussing the facts or the information written on the slide. So this and memorization one is the least preferable um, PowerPoint presentation or academic presentation. Then if we talk about finally, an example could be in presenting a paper at technical meeting for a colleague who might be ill. So it could be substituting somebody else. Like if I am not well and I have to present a paper, I'm there at the conference. It could be an international conference or a national one, but it's compulsory to present the paper. So what I would be doing is I would be there with my friend or a person who would be substituting me, and I would ask for a favor, and the other person who has already not prepared for it and would present that paper in place of me. So that would be called reading presentation, and that would be acceptable in that situation, but not in the other situation. So combination of all these approaches would give you deliver an effective presentation unless you have been told to adopt any of these methods individually. Then talking about the preparations, we also discussed about it yesterday that first you need to choose the method, which should definitely be the visual and audio lingual method, and knowledge of the audience, You should know what kind of audience you have, what age group do they belong to, what kind of which gender do they belong to, what kind of information do they already have, and do they belong to your same field, or are they layman, or the people who don't know anything about your field. So this is how you're going to develop your presentations according to their needs. And then you would be using the time limit to deliver it effectively, and that time limit should be in your mind while you're preparing the slides and while you're delivering those slides. Then personal appearance, we also talked about it yesterday, that how girls should be formally dressed up and how boys should be formally dressed up. It should be all formal, keeping in mind the weather conditions and keeping in mind the kind of the level of formality or informality of the presentation you're going to give. So your personal appearance affects your credibility. Informal clothing is rarely appropriate for a professional presentation. So you should be well groomed while you're presenting your presentation. So now talking about the while activities. We have already talked about the pre-activities, pre-presentation activities, now while presentation activities. What you need to do is, first you need to be very energetic. You need to have that energy or that potential to show your audience that you are very much interested in talking to them today. And then there should be poise and enthusiasm. So your body language should maintain that confidence which you're going to deliver to them. So next thing is you need to maintain eye contact, and that eye contact could only be done when you have gained the exposure of the view that is from the stage and that is from the audience point of view. So eye contact is analogous to plugging into your audience brain. So it is a connection that you would build with your audience brain. At some time during your presentation, try to make eye contact with every person in the room. So you just would not be making eye contact with the people who are sitting in front of you. You need to move your um, eyes from person to person so that they would get that confidence as if you're talking to them, as if you're addressing them, as if you know everybody. So use of voice is very very important. People who have a voice with very low pitch and with very high pitch would not be able to give effective presentation, because if they have very low voice pitch and tone, they would not be heard by many. हो सकता है उनकी आवाज पीछे तक पहुंच जाए ना. And if they have very loud volume, that would be shrieking, and that would not give a pleasant effect to the ears of the audience. So बहुत ज़्यादा ऊंची चीखती हुई आवाज़ भी कानों को बहुत बुरी लगती है. So you need to maintain your voice and volume according to the space you have been given, according to the number of audience that is sitting in front of you. Everybody should be hearing you, and it should not be unpleasant to their ears. So you should hear what you are saying. अपनी आवाज खुद को भी जज करें. Understand what you say. जो आप बात कर रहे हैं, you should know. Use emphasis to stress upon points. Like I am using intonation when I believe that this thing should be stressed, as I believe that this is important. So मेरा stress emphasis उन words पे आ जाता है. So try to use that intonation with your audience as well. This would definitely grab their interest. If not, at least they would be listening you. Different tones के साथ आप करें. Your tone could be high, your tone could be low, according to the thing you're talking about. So there should be variety in your voice, volume, quality, and tone. Then I told you that you need to utilize time. You should be giving them, not only giving them the topic in the presentation, you should also be giving them activities. You should also be asking them questions. So and all these should be well planned, that it fit perfectly into the time that you have been given. Then the language should be according to the audience level. Because if you would be using high vocabulary, they won't be able to understand. If they're not from your field, they won't be able to understand your jargons. So you would be using words which are easier to understand and everybody can understand. But if you're presenting in front of your professionals and people who belong to your field, there you need to use your jargons and high vocabulary. If you won't be using high vocabulary or jargons there, your presentation would not be considered a good one, because they would believe that you don't know anything. You just know the basics and you don't know any advanced level thing. So that is why your audience analysis is very important. So a typical audience will be comprised of people representing many different social and ethnic groups. Off-color remarks. So once you have alienated an audience in your mind, you'd get to know about them and you'd get to know what kind of language you should be using and what you should not be using. So yes, sometimes slangs would be acceptable if your audience belongs to different social and ethnic groups. But then again, you need to be very choosy while you are delivering, because you already know that racism is on its peak these days. You cannot say anything that is white and that is black. So your words should not be hinting anything that may outbreak some sort of rage against it. So visual aids are very important. We have already discussed that what kind of text should be there on slide, how many points should be there on slides, and in what form it should be there, how many images should be there. So you can go through it easily, and this would give you all the formal rules. ये इन्होंने आपको rules बताए थे. Okay, keep it simple and stupid. Sometimes graphics should be interesting ones, colorful, and each frame should contain no more than 5 points, preferably. So you can go through all these. These are not very difficult. You're done with this one. Do you have any questions so far?
No, ma'am.
Anyone else? Okay, so meanwhile, we are moving on to the next lecture. I would be assigning you topics today. I have filtered some of these, and next 2 weeks, next two classes of the next week would be your presentation. So be ready for that, and I'll discuss more about it at the end of this session. Okay, now moving on to the on-the-day presentation. So as I have just discussed, that you should have a sound sleep before you are going to present, because if you won't be having a proper rest, you won't be able to deliver properly. You won't be able to translate your thoughts, क्योंकि आपका mind would not be working well. आप कह कुछ रहे होंगे, आपके मुंह से words कुछ और निकल रहे होंगे और audience तक कुछ और बात पहुंच रही होगी. So eat healthy breakfast. Try to relax your mind, and then uh, reach the venue and have a good look of the view from where you're going to speak, and from the audience point of view. Check all the technology, if the mic is working or not, if your multimedia is working or not, if your slides are being opened or not. So you should be prepared beforehand, ताकि आपको सिर्फ audience के सामने problem ना. Before you present, spend 15 minutes going over your presentation. उससे पहले बिल्कुल कुछ ना पढ़े, आराम से mind को relax करके, then go through your slides 15 minutes before your presentation. Then take a 15-minute gap और उसमें कुछ मत पढ़े. Don't make last-minute changes. Use the quiet 15 minutes to manage your reaction, and do whatever the needful. Do the needful. If you want to go freshen up, wash your face, so you can go and relax your mind, basically. Then delivering the presentation. Remember, the opening and closing of your presentations are the most important part. So put in extra effort into the opening, because here you are going to maintain a comfort zone with the audience. If you're going to introduce yourself to them properly, and if you're going to introduce your topic properly, then you would have a good interaction and a good connection with the audience, and that will help you in the further delivery of the presentation. और इसके बाद कोई hoax या कोई problem में आप नहीं पड़ सकते हैं when you have maintained a good reputation with the audience. You need to compel your audience attention, and that attention could be in any form. You can begin, मैंने आपको कल भी कहा था, you can begin from a very good video जो कि thought provoking हो for your audience. You can begin by telling them a joke, and you can talk about anything interesting. It could be about weather also, if the weather is very good on that day. So you need to build that reputation with your audience. That main point with evidence, you discuss about all the topics that you have mentioned with description sometimes and explanation, and sometimes activities. Visual audio aids we have already discussed, facts and stories ये भी मैं आपको कह चुकी हूँ. Yes, as Wahab said, there should be question and answers too with the audience that you can have at the end of the session also. And that's how you like. If you like it at the end, you can have a question and answer session at the end. And if you like the ongoing question and answer session, you can also maintain that. So grounding is very important. This is a visualization technique that you can use to improve your public speaking confidence. It will also help improve your posture and body language, bringing you closer to the achieving that physical presence. So अगर आपको वेन्यू का ऑलरेडी पता है, तो अगर आप उस वेन्यू पे जाके one day before प्रैक्टिस कर लेते हैं, तो that would also give you very another plus point. And then there is another technique that is good for your performance. And plant your feet firmly on the floor, armpit width apart. Imagine that you're a 300-year-old oak tree with roots that go deep and wide into the earth. So how you can maintain your body posture is you can stand there with with an exposure as if you are very strong and you're very tall and you can face everybody. So this is how you're going to gain confidence. You the way you would be walking on the stage, the way there should not be very much movements because audience attention would be distracted with a lot of movements, and you should not be very stationary as well. इस तरह से आप स्टेचू भी लगेंगे तब भी ऑडियंस को बिल्कुल अच्छा नहीं लगेगा. Compare this strong stance with the weak stances. आप अपने आप को देख सकते हैं, do's and don'ts check कर सकते हैं. So few of these do's and don'ts are here. One is prepare an audience analysis, organize the presentation to flow from one section to another, prepare and rehearse the presentation, visit the room, tell the audience about your subject and your introduction, state your main ideas, provide adequate support for your ideas, relevant, be supportive, be attractive. While you're using audiovisual aids, use words that express your ideas clearly, use acceptable language, pronunciation, and enunciation. Dress appropriately, avoid distracting body movements, maintain eye contact with the audience, display enthusiasm and genuine concern for your subject, and so on. Use appropriate tone, transitional devices, allow time for question and answer. answer questions credibly. So once the audience has asked you a question, you need to answer them properly and ethically. If somebody, because there could be someone in the audience who might be asking you some negative sort of questions and who might be provoking you to answer them in a negative way, you need to be very patient and calm, and you need to control your mind. You should not be showing anger. Your words should be ethical enough and respectful enough, even if the other person is not talking good about you or is not trying to be good with you. So your body composure and your mind abilities are very important over there. Start and stop your presentation on your time, on the time that you have been given. Some of the do's we have discussed, and now we're moving on to don'ts. So don'ts में हम बहुत कुछ discuss कर चुके हैं. So let's give it a quick overview. Don't be too late for the presentation, because that would आपको काफ़ी ज़्यादा कंफ्यूज कर देगा एंड उसके बाद प्रॉब्लम शुरू हो जाएंगे. Don't be afraid to pause and take a deep breath. Don't hyperventilate, just relax and breathe normally. Don't speak in a monotone or mumble. आप मुंह में words ना बोलें, एक tone मत maintain करें. Keep on your tone should be variable. Don't slouch, ना आप झुकें rostrum पे and ना आप बहुत ज़्यादा टेढ़े मेढ़े होके खड़े हो. So you need to be firm like an oak tree. And don't read your notes. Don't sit or lean on the desk. Don't hide between the rostrum. Don't sway or rock in a place. ज़्यादा घूमे मत, ज़्यादा लहराए मत. So don't pace back and forth. आगे पीछे मत जाए. इससे आपकी anxiety show होगी, जिससे audience भी anxious होगी. So don't forget your audience and don't avoid eye contact. Don't use technical terms which are unfamiliar to your audience. Do not hold the pointer when you're not using it. Do not stand in front of your visual aids. Do not leave the overhead projector. Do not leave a visual aid for a longer period of time, because वो भी बहुत ज़्यादा boring हो जाता है. And don't forget that giving presentation is hard but necessary if you are to be an effective communicator. And don't forget to have a bit of fun. You don't have to be boring. So you don't have to be very funny either. You need to have you need to create a balance between everything and combination of everything. So this is it. And now here the activity is different, and now your presentation activity would be different.
Okay, do you have any idea about technical report writing? What is technical report writing? Did you ever hear about it?
Yes, ma'am.
Any idea what is technical report writing?
मैम जो किसी स्पेसिफिक सब्जेक्ट पे होती है.
Very good. So it is written specifically for some specific sort of purpose, और उसमें specific guidelines और rules को follow भी किया जाता है. So technical writing is intended to communicate with the specified audience for a specific purpose in mind. It is a type of writing when the author is writing about a particular subject that requires direction, instruction, or explanation. The style of writing has a very different purpose and different characteristics than other writing styles such as creative writing, academic writing, or business writing. Okay, so what's the difference? The difference is creative writing is based on your thoughts and your creativity. You are given free hand, you can write anything. Sometimes you're given topic and sometimes you're not given topic. So that depends upon your creativity of mind in which direction you want to carry. But when we talk about academic essays, so academically you are somewhat bound and you still have a specific purpose in mind. So that also sometimes come under technical writing. But when you talk about business writing, so you need to deal with your customers and dealings and on launching your products, making your products advertisements, persuading people, convincing customers. So these are business type of writing. So all these come under technical writing. Why? Because you have specific purpose in your mind. Your audience is specific. You know that ये इसके अलावा audience नहीं है. So your technical words should be there, technical jargon should be there. And for that, you must also have a very sound knowledge of what you are writing and why you are writing. So that is why it is called technical. Doctors की field की कोई report होगी, that would be made by doctors only, because doctors would be familiar with the same term. If it's a report of engineering field, it would be made by engineers only. So if you belong to media studies, तो you can say ये जो TV पे reports आप देखते हैं, news reports हो गई, feature reports हो गई, those are typically made by media students or learners or professionals only. So that is why it is called technical. So it could be anything. उन्होंने आज सिर्फ आपको एक introduction दिया है कि what exactly technical writing could be. So technical writing could be any press release, it could be manuals for instructions or procedures, it could be circulars, it could be memos, it could be reports. अब reports में भी बहुत सारी types आती हैं, formal, informal, short reports, long reports, memos, ये सब reports का part है, जिसमें progress report, reminders, memorandums, ये सब these come under reports. So when there are business proposals, आप लोगों ने already ये भी research proposals किए, which are almost similar business proposals भी होते हैं, लेकिन उसमें problem सिर्फ ये है कि आप budgeting add नहीं करते हैं research proposal में. Business proposal में you add budgeting also. And sometimes your labor also, okay, how many people would be working, who would be working what task. Then there are journals. Journals are the publications in which your research articles are published, latest research is published. So journals, ये वो journals हैं, ये आपकी रोज डायरी मेकिंग वाला journal नहीं है. Then data sheet is basically statistical data that carries a number of जिसमें surveys हो सकते हैं, जिसमें statistics हो सकती है किसी company की, profit की, loss की, anything like that. Then it is product description and specification, resumes, job applications, meeting agendas, and meeting minutes as well. So according to this, now we can say technical reports are written to provide readers with information, instructions, and analysis on tasks. Reports come in many forms. For example, a technical writer might evaluate a building that is for sale and produce a trip report that highlights his or her findings and whether or not he or she believes that the building should be purchased. Another writer who works for a non-profit company may publish an evaluation report that shows the findings of the company's research into air pollution. So these are called feasibility report. So there are many types of reports you will be studying, but आप लोगों को नाम बताए जाएंगे. अभी फिलहाल you will not be studying more than 2 or 3 reports. So feasibility reports are those reports. Let's say if you want to construct a hotel in a hill station. So you'll send your engineers or researchers over there to identify if the place over there is suitable for making the hotel or not. पानी वहाँ तक पहुँचेगा नहीं पहुँचेगा, land कैसी है, soil कैसा है. So all these are done by the professionals or technical people of that field. So इसके बाद वो आपको जो report देंगे, that would be feasibility report, whether they would agree with the fact that there should be a hotel constructed or whether they would disagree with the fact that hotel should not be constructed over there. So ये भी technical reports की types हैं. So technical reports are also not only used for business growth but also in educational institutions. Some examples of technical reports include project and business status reports, legal case reviews and personnel activity reports, meeting reports, progress reports. आप ये कर रहे होंगे. So basically, it is not only part of business. Academically, it is part or compulsory part of academics also. Because every day you will be writing progress report. अगर आपको कोई major project मिला है, task मिला है, जो कि आपका end final year project होता है, let's say आप उसकी कोई report आपसे मांगी जाती है, head of the department आपसे report मांगता है और वो written में मांगते हैं. फिर you would be writing in written और वो progress report का format होता है, what is done, how it is done, how much is it done, and when would it be completed. So that is progress report. Every day when हम ये रोज करते हैं, जब हमारी कोई भी मीटिंग होती है, आफ्टर दैट वी राइट मिनट्स, और मिनट्स ये सब बताते हैं कि मीटिंग में हाउ मेनी मेंबर्स वर देयर, हु चेयर्ड द मीटिंग, and what agenda was discussed in the meeting, and what were the further action plans, या what are the future discussions. तो ये सब minutes में लिखे जाते हैं, who said what, when and why, ये सारी बातें लिखी जाती हैं. So ये सब क्या है? These are types of technical report writing जो हम daily routine में कर रहे होते हैं, academically and non-academically. So technical reports are a very important part of your life. That is why they are familiarizing you with the concept of technical report writing, क्योंकि इसके बगैर आपको गुजारा नहीं है. And your studies is incomplete without this, क्योंकि आपकी कहीं ना कहीं किसी न किसी फील्ड में ये requirement होगी to write any sort of report या thesis या इस तरह की जितनी भी चीज़ें होती हैं, तो वहाँ पे आपको technical words ये सब कुछ यूज करने होते हैं. So what is the characteristic of a good technical report? Number one, it should be accurate. उसमें correctness होनी चाहिए, जो facts figures आप दे रहे हैं वो correct होनी चाहिए, and grammatically syntactically आपके sentences correct होने चाहिए. यानी कि factually it should be true what you have stated, and grammatically it should be correct. Then number two is appropriate for intended audience. आपके mind में होना चाहिए कि आपकी audience है. Is the audience of the same field, or is the audience of a different field, or is the audience a very common mass है जो कि शायद आपकी field के बारे में कुछ नहीं जानते. So you need to use that kind of vocabulary in your report. So you should be well aware of your audience. Number three is it should be concise, to the point, brief and concrete होनी चाहिए आपकी report, because extra wordiness and इस तरह की lengthy discussions अगर होंगी तो people will not be interested in knowing what your report states, and they would not be interested in knowing what you want to convey. So it should be concise and to the point. It should be logical and sequential. अगर आप logically point sequence में नहीं show करेंगे तो आपकी बात connected नहीं होगी. Connected नहीं होगी, people would not understand. If people would not understand, so you may not get any sort of benefit. Either if you want to convince them, either if you want to apply for grants or budgets, so you would not be able to get that if your report is not logical or sequential. Then there should be clarity. Clear होना चाहिए कि आप क्या कह रहे हैं, क्यों कह रहे हैं, और इतने सिंपल वर्ड्स भी यूज ना करें कि आपकी कोई टेक्निकल नॉलेज ना लगे, और इतने डिफिकल्ट वर्ड्स भी यूज ना करें कि लोगों को समझ ही ना आए वो आपके टेक्निकल वर्ड्स. तो इट शुड बी क्लियर इनफ व्हाटएवर यू आर स्टेटिंग, और घुमा फिरा के एम्बिगुअस बात नहीं होनी चाहिए. देन इट शुड बी एक्शन ओरिएंटेड. एक्शन ओरिएंटेड मतलब ये कि आपने अगर कोई सजेशन दी है, आपने कोई आइडेंटिफाई किया है प्रॉब्लम और इशू, तो उसके एंड पे आप ऐसी सजेशन भी दें जो कि बताए कि हाउ टू रिमूव दैट, हाउ टू एरेडिकेट दैट, हाउ टू एलिमिनेट दैट. सो वो प्रैक्टिकली अप्लायबल एक्शन प्लान होना चाहिए. देन ऑर्गेनाइज होनी चाहिए. डेफिनेटली कैटेगरीज बना के उसको ऑर्गेनाइज करके यू विल बी प्रेजेंटिंग द रिपोर्ट. फॉर्मेट को फॉलो करना चाहिए. डोंट फॉरगेट द डिटेल्स रेलिवेंट आप उसके अकॉर्डिंग ऐड करेंगे डेफिनेटली टू सपोर्ट योर ओपिनियन और पॉइंट्स or discussions. So these are the 9 characteristics of any good technical report. So this is it about today's lecture. Do you want to discuss anything? Do you have any question in your mind?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.